What's up, guys? Sorry, Kari coming at you from the Safari. Okay, listen, I'm working on my intros. I'm new to this. With today's video, you'll see I got the green and the blue lights going because today's video is about the clash of the titans. Xbox Series X versus PlayStation 5. Which one should you get? Which one did I get? And we'll look at some of the reasons behind my decisions coming up. With the Xbox Series X and S pre-orders underway, as well as the PlayStation 5, consumers are forced to ask themselves which next-gen console is for them. Now I'm going to give you guys opinions based off of my personal preferences and experiences, so buckle up. Buckle up. I guess that makes sense if you're watching this in a car. Now, when I think about what next-gen console to go for, I make my decision based on one major contributing factor, and that is the gaming experience. I'm not concerned with watching Blu-ray movies. I'm not concerned about buying a $500 Netflix box. I'm concerned with one thing, and that is the gaming experience. Now, one major thing I have to tell you guys is that I am biased. I'm biased in the fact that when one very specific game comes out, I 1000% need to get that game day one. And that game is Halo Infinite. Now, even though I know that game has been postponed to 2021, I know that that game is going to be a humongous factor in my next-gen experience. As far as displays go, I personally have a 4K TV, so the decision to go for the more expensive Series X versus the S is the main reason you'll hear me talking about that console because, hey, I need that 4K 60 frames a second magic. And I look at it like this. Anytime a phone comes out, I usually go for the top model phone because I'm materialistic, and phones are way more expensive than Xboxes, so I figure if I'm gonna get it, I might as well get it with a bang. That way I can get the best experience possible. But one thing I can tell you that might sound contradictory is I'm not a huge specs guy. When it comes to gaming, I don't make my decision based off of just that. Honestly, the fact that the Series X has a certain amount of teraflops, which if it gets like the red rings of death, they're probably gonna call it the terror flops. You heard it here first. It means absolutely nothing besides the fact that it's gonna make my games look buttery smooth in their 4K 60 frames a second glory. I'm what you would call your average consumer. Because I'm just your regular guy looking to buy a next-gen console, and I'm not enticed by the name of chips and internal specs and all that. Now, one thing that is alarming to me is that Xbox, in my opinion, lost the Xbox One versus PlayStation 4 battle just because of the games that were playable. A good Xbox game was way too far and in between for me personally. And that's what these consoles are made for, right? Games? You remember games? Games. But with Xbox making major moves by purchasing Bethesda, I think this year they'll get that games thing kind of under control. Now let's take a look at the PlayStation 5. Now, as a regular guy looking at the PlayStation 5 with what Sony has given us so far, I know that they're coming out with Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I know what you're thinking. Kari, you just gonna buy an entire console because they coming out with a black Spider-Man game? Yup. There's another Ratchet & Clank coming out, another God of War installment, plus a lot of other titles to name, but let's take a look at the console and hardware. We've got haptic feedback on the controllers, adaptive triggers, and 3D audio. All of those together are gonna make for a more immersive gaming experience. Now we've got amazing visuals on the way with the ability to do up to 120 frames per second and eventually 8K gaming, but so does the Series X. All in all, I think PlayStation's first party titles are going to be hard to beat. My final decision comes from long, hard consideration because honestly, these are both amazing pieces of hardware. So if you're wondering what console I pre-ordered, I went with the Xbox Series X. Listen, when Halo comes out, I need to have an Xbox on hand. And with Xbox and PC gaming being pretty much one and the same, that gives me a wider variety of players to play with, so that had a little bit to do with my decision making. Now I know the Xbox is a specs powerhouse, but that doesn't do anything for me. Either your games are fun or they're not. For me, it's the Xbox Live platform, Halo. I really like the look of the Xbox. I've always loved the controller, plus the updates they made to it. And to be honest, I just think Xbox Series X is gonna be the console to have in 2020. But just because I chose Xbox doesn't mean I'm not gonna grab a PlayStation 5. Because first off, I'm materialistic. And if you think I'm gonna miss out on Spider-Man and another God of War title, you'd be wrong. You'd be dead wrong. You'd be Red Dead Redemption wrong. Thanks again for watching my video, and make sure you subscribe, because eventually this Xbox Series X is gonna arrive and you're gonna need someone to watch an unboxing video, and that person is going to be me. You need to watch me unravel this beauty. This is more than just a tech review channel though. We do all sorts of stuff, but the main goal is always gonna be to entertain you guys and keep you happy and keep you coming back. And I love you guys. So hey, thanks again, and tune in next time.